Hey everyone, I'm here with Mohamed. Mohamed is a very good friend. I've known him for about 3 years now, and we're both into content marketing and helping people with content. And he's the founder of Vertical Media, an agency that helps entrepreneurs in Quebec with content creation. So, Mohamed, welcome. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you very much, Juan. I was really looking forward to having this conversation with you. Yeah, I mean, I'm all about content marketing, especially for professionals and entrepreneurs. So anyone that want to build a personal brand and actually get a good result, whether it's getting more clients, more awareness, well, we can keep in touch.
Amazing. And what inspired you in the first place to start with content? Why content marketing?
Honestly, it's a funny story because I started my journey a couple years ago, 5 years ago, and it was video editing actually. I think a lot of the viewers will recognize themselves, but video editing is pretty easy to get to start with. So I started with that, and slowly but surely my clients at the time were just asking for more and more and more. So I had to build a stack of skills, and here we are today. So it's more than just video editing. Now it's strategy, content research, auditing, filming, all that stuff. So it started with that.
Amazing. It's funny because we've both had like a similar journey. Whereas me myself, I also started video editing, and now yeah, like working with clients, like you said about the strategy, the things that work. So why did you launch Vertical Media? Why what inspired you?
So honestly, I've worked in the U.S. market a lot, and you probably know that the U.S. is way ahead of us, at least a couple years. And when I say us, I'm talking about the Quebec market, the Canadian market, and I've also worked in the European market with a lot of entrepreneurs, YouTubers in that space. So I've seen a lot of strategies and what they're using in order to grow, get more clients, and everything. And when I was looking at the Quebec market, I really saw a gap, especially when I checked competitors, what other people are doing and what they're offering to clients here in Quebec. I saw that we could do content way better. And you could tell me what you think. I'd like to have your input on this, but I feel like the creator economy here in Quebec is not as advanced, and in Canada in general, is not as advanced as it is in the US, where we literally have billionaires and millionaires just out of content, people making content for a living. And I feel like we don't have enough support in the first place and enough resources for people to get started, to grow and everything. So I'm betting on this. I'm betting on the fact that Quebec and Canada in the next 3, 4, 5 years is gonna get there and is gonna recognize the creator economy, and it's gonna be, a growing market. So that's kind of why I started. But what do you think?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, when I think about people in the Quebec market or the Canadian market, the the one that brings like keeps coming to mind, it's Midday Squares, this brand that makes chocolates. They're like pretty big on social media, and they started like narrating their story as if it was like a TV series, and they started here in Quebec. I definitely think that there's a lot of opportunity. There's not a lot of people doing it, and the ones doing it are not, they don't have the skills or the strategy to put it in place. So for example, when you look at restaurants doing social media, they typically go and they film the food, and that's it, and they call it a day. So it's definitely pretty interesting what you're saying and what the opportunity is in Quebec and in Canada. So what would you say, like, what's the difference for people listening? What's the difference between content that gets views and content that drives action, for example?
Just for the people listening, so I can give you an actual reason to listen to me. So I've worked with over 30, 40 entrepreneurs in the Quebec market, and we've produced to this day, I think, over 1,000 videos. So this is kind of where my experience is coming from. But to answer your question, content that get views is usually highly relatable. I think you'd agree on that. It's very shareable, and it's that's another point. Shares are more important than likes, I believe. But it's very relatable, and usually it's either funny or something that you could share to your buddy. So that's what gets virality. And then you ask what's content that gets clients and leads. That's kind of the question, right? I think it's content that gets you clients is content that puts you as an expert in your field and kind of can shift the beliefs of people that are looking. So in order to just explain this very easily, if someone is struggling with, let's say, let's find something. They're trying to build a house, they're looking to build a house, and you post a content that not only give them the right information, the information they're looking for, but you actually shift their belief. They thought that building a house took X, Y, and Z, but you show them no, it doesn't just take X, Y, and Z. It takes X, Y, and Z and another letter. So you just shifted their beliefs about what they thought was needed to achieve their goal. So now they can have more confidence in you. And obviously that's not just created by one piece of content, it's multiple pieces of content. I think you know this study where they kind of followed through the customer journey of people to see how much content they need to consume before they actually make a major purchase. So we're not talking about
Yes.
water. And it's kind of around 7 hours. So when you have 7 hours of continuous content where you can trust someone and learn from him, that gets you to buy. So I think that the main difference is really kind of content that gets views is highly relatable, highly shareable, doesn't really take the consumer or the viewer emotionally. It's just funny and or very interesting. But content that actually gets clients is content that shift beliefs and kind of puts you as the trusted expert in your field. That would be my answer.
Yeah, I mean the thing that you mentioned that people need 7 hours to trust you is basically that. It's not like you're gonna do a video and people are gonna watch 15 minutes and that's it. I mean you need consistency. And
Yeah.
7 hours, it seems like it's little time, but it's actually people watching you, it's a very long time.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely.
So for people, because we talked about people trying to do content and here in Quebec and Canada, what are the main things that you see people are doing wrong?
Like just like entrepreneurs specifically, or anybody who wanted to kind of make content.
Yeah, entrepreneurs, I would say.
I would say there's many things. I'm basing myself on the people that I've worked with, because most people that I work with already post content. It's just not getting the results they expected. So first one is they go all in and then they burn out. And by going all in is like, okay, they hear Gary Vee, they hear Alex Hormozy, they're like, you know what, I'm gonna post every day. Then they post every day, and no results after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they just give up. And it's not that they necessarily don't see the benefit. Most of them are very smart people. It's just that they set too high of standards for what they can actually achieve. So I like to see content just like we see fitness, right? I think you're also into fitness. We've played football quite a couple times together. So
Yeah.
when you're new to going to the gym, you're not gonna go to the gym 7 times a week. That's just unrealistic. Nobody would tell you that. You would probably go 1 time, 2 times, 3 times a week. That's kind of how you should see content as well. It's about taking a schedule that can actually fit to your life, so you can keep it up. So that's one, like going all in and then burning out. And another thing is having no strategy. Like I've seen it a lot with clients. When I mean strategy, like strategy is just like a buzzword. Everybody use it like, oh, you don't have a strategy. It just, you set goals and then you outline how you're going to achieve those goals. Most people don't even
Yes.
set goals. They just start posting content, and then when whatever they get, since they didn't have any expectations, well, obviously they can't be happy because they didn't set any goals. So for example, you might have someone who want more clients into his dental clinic. He start making content and then he gets 1 million views. He's happy for like, I don't know, 2 days. But then he actually he see that that piece of content didn't get any client. So now he's frustrated. But the problem isn't the video or it isn't the people watching, it's that he didn't have any strategy. If he had the strategy of getting more leads and actually outlined like a way to get there, probably would have known that that piece of content wouldn't be the way to get there. So that would be another thing. And did you have any input on this?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think there's a lot of people that try to put out content, but they don't necessarily see like, okay, what is this piece of content is gonna achieve? Is this talking to my target audience? Does this provides value? Is it like, I don't know what's the split, but most of your content I know should be you providing value. And I think like the 20% that's left should be like you selling your service or something like that, basically. What do you think?
There's a lot of people in this space that have different opinions, but I think the overarching theme is that you shouldn't ask too many times. So 80%, 20%, that's good. Jab, jab, hook. Jab meaning like you give value, and then you ask. I like to just give value, give value, give value. And ask, but not make the video about the ask. So, for example, instead of doing like 10 pieces of content value and then one ad, you just make 11 pieces of content and you just put a little bit of ad in all of them, but you don't make it about that. So, let me give an example. If I actually did it, so I make a video about marketing. I give you tips about making good hooks. And in the middle of the video, I say, just like I've helped 20 of my clients in the past week achieve X, Y, and Z. I did not sell anything, but I gave a signal, which is, you viewer, me, I can help you because I've done it with other people. But I did not give any CTA. And the more I do that, the more it's going to kind of sit in their head, okay, this guy can help me and he's been helping me. So I do agree with you. It's mostly value, like 90%, even 95% value. And then you could ask, but yes, you do need to ask at some point to kind of get some other people. But in my experience, when you just provide value and if it's aligned with your goals, naturally people are going to come to you.
I love that. I agree, and I haven't seen it in that way, where you just mention the results that you've gotten, but you're not necessarily like pitching in the video or in the post, you would say. So yeah, I think it's a very smart way to basically provide value and just put it out there that if somebody needs like your help or anything, they can contact you. So now, for example, there's a lot of people I see that are also posting, for example, in their company pages.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on posting on company pages? I don't know if you've seen, because there are ways to do it right and there are ways to do it wrong. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the accounts of, for example, Ryanair and Duolingo. Those are examples, very good examples. But I want to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, Ryanair and Duolingo, you took the best of the best. And they're like our examples, right? Honestly, there's so many ways of doing it wrong and so little ways of doing it right. But I think there's room for both, meaning posting on your personal account and posting on your business account. Statistically speaking, like I've read countless reports from LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Statistically speaking, business pages tend to perform very poorly. Like if you post something on your business account, it's gonna perform way, way, way less than if it was posted like on a founder account. Because people don't care about businesses. Like they don't want to be pitched. They don't want to be sold. Nobody opens their phone and scroll for the purpose of being sold. So the examples that you took, Duolingo and Ryanair, they're prime examples of what you should do because they're not selling you anything. They're just entertaining you. Those are both examples of pure entertainment. Like I don't think Duolingo, I haven't seen a piece of valuable content in the sense that they teach you languages or something. So it's very funny and it's kind of associations in the sense that you want to associate Duolingo with a fun app and that's kind of what they're associating their brand with. Ryanair is kind of a lot of sarcasm because they know that they're very bad. At least they're laughing about it instead of. So I think they're doing the right thing. But just to circle back to your question, I think you can do business content, but if you can go for founder content, it's gonna give you a highest ROI, and it's gonna be better for your company. But the thing you don't want to do is that down the line, you don't want your business and your kind of personal brand to just be the same thing. Because afterward, if you want to delegate, if you want to grow the company, if you want to sell it, I don't know, anything, it's going to be very, very hard because your personal brand becomes your business. So you still want to have a business account, but don't bet on your business account for growing. That's kind of my take.
That's an interesting take. Yes, I agree. I think there's a lot of opportunity too for people that are, for example, founders of software companies, and I see it a lot of on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I was reading about these guys called Cold IQ. They basically offer outbound systems for founders. And the guy that runs it, he has like, I don't know, probably like 40,000 followers on LinkedIn. And he's consistently driving like pipeline and people to his offer and everything. And the craziest thing that he's done is that for every team member on the team creates content. So that goes like, it's like a pyramid and it goes like multiplies itself. So not only you have like founder-led content, but you also have like employee-led content or employee advocacy. I don't know if you've seen any of these
I've
things.
definitely seen like employee-led content, but I've never thought about it that way. Like you put it in a very, very good way. Do you think that like there's a opportunity in that? Like it's fairly new, right? There isn't that many companies doing it, but I've seen a couple.
Yeah, Yeah, I've seen there's more and more people doing it right now, but I think it's a good idea. But yeah, I mean, depends on yourself, right? If you wanna grow in a field, for me personally, if I was in charge of managing outbound for a company, and I know that I want to develop in that area, it's most likely for my benefit that I not only talk about this and create my personal brand, because in the future I'm gonna have more opportunities regardless of the company that I'm associated with. So I think it's a very very smart approach that a lot of companies are taking.
It's very smart. I've seen a company called Tela. Do you know about it? It's for
Yeah,
video. Yeah, it's
yeah,
kind
like
of similar
Loom.
to Riverside. It's not Riverside, but it just like edit your video for people that don't know. It's kind of an alternative to not Calendly.
Loom?
Loom, yes, thank you. It looks better. There's AI editing into it, and it looks more professional. And they also have this system of employee-led content, and they even have incentives where they have the what is it called, the affiliate program, but for employees it's even bigger. It's like for regular people it's probably 30%. For them it's 50%. So it's even
Wow.
more enticing for them to post content, and it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like for example, there's a lot of social media, like for people that are thinking about starting to post content. What do you think? Like, how can people know, like, okay, should I post on X or should I post on Instagram or should I post on LinkedIn or TikTok?
Mm, So on choosing the platform, I would say pick one or two to start with. I'm not an advocate of on posting everything everywhere. I know a lot of people say that, but these companies today, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, they tend to sophisticate themselves more and more. Their algorithm is very, very native. So a piece of content on TikTok is not gonna perform the same way on Instagram. So the way you would decide is just looking at your target audience. So if we take, for example, let's take a simple example. If you have an ice cream shop company and you're targeting Gen Z, you know that Gen Z is not going to be on LinkedIn. You know they're not going to be on YouTube looking for food because people mostly look for food on Instagram, and they're going to be heavily on TikTok. So I would say look at your demographic, your target demographic, and kind of look at where they are waiting for you, and just pick one platform up to two platform, and then just do that for as long as you can for like 1, 2, 3 years, and then you can diversify. I love diversifying. It helps you. It prevents you from being tied to a company. If TikTok decides to ban you, well, it's ciao. Like you're not there anymore. But if you have YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, it's good. But that's the main driver for me is where is my target audience, and then I'm gonna choose where to post content.
Yeah, totally. Like if you want to speak to a certain demographic of people with certain interests, you're gonna choose a platform, like you said, for example, Instagram, if you're into like traveling or like, I don't know, like food or any of that stuff. I think YouTube can work for every niche though. It can be for B2B and it can be for B2C also. And I think that's super interesting.
Have you tried YouTube for yourself and for your clients as well?
Just for myself right now, I'm doing this with the podcast and also thinking about starting dropping some new videos on these topics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think YouTube's is a very good opportunity, and not a lot of people are putting the work on YouTube. And
Yeah.
many, like more and more people, like I see every day, like founders or people that are like dropping value and new videos and growing audiences there. So I think YouTube is like kind of like middle of funnel, right? Like establishes more trusts because I've seen people go from or do something like, okay, they see a reel, and for example, the people that made the reel said, okay, if you want to know more about this, go to YouTube, for example. So it's kind of like a funny mechanism.
I think YouTube is an amazing opportunity for any entrepreneur, any person wanting to start something online, and anybody in Quebec and Canada. YouTube is an amazing opportunity, especially Quebec, because there's so little to no competition in the
Mhm.
Quebec market that if you post anything, as long as it's optimized to get views, you're going to get the attention of everybody. Imagine a dental clinician making a YouTube video that is optimized for YouTube. Obviously, we'd have to find a winning angle. Have never seen that on YouTube. It would work like crazy. Like 24 hours in the life of a dental clinician in Montreal. Come on, bro. Like, who do that?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, yeah. It brings me to mind. Daniel Dallin. So this guy is crazy. Like, I think he's I don't know, but I discovered him last year when he started around like 2024, just doing like vlogs and day in the life. But the thing that characterizes this guy the most is the unique camera angles, how he colors his videos. He has like a style. So it's just not like about putting out content like consistently like a machine. You also need to have like a brand identity. You need to have your own style, your own thing that differentiates yourself, I would say.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Especially in a market where there's a lot of competition, or in a market where you want to leave your stamp. I agree with you.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about your work in vertical media. Like, who do you help, or what are the results that you're getting your clients? Any fun stories that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, so we help entrepreneurs and professionals that are too busy to build a personal brand or post any content on social media, do it in 2 hours a month. So we handle everything from strategy, content, competitor analysis, up to video editing, filming, searching, and posting. So it's really for busy professionals, busy entrepreneurs that want to do it. They want to be in the content game because they see the benefit, but they can't. And we've gotten some pretty good results with vertical media. Vertical media is soon, we're soon celebrating our 1 year, soon. But as of right now, we've worked with over 35 entrepreneurs and professionals, because we also work with like nurses, doctors, that kind of stuff that have clinics. And we've gotten some pretty solid results on average per person. I know that views are a vanity metric, but when coupled with the right intention and the right demographic, it can be relevant. But on average, we at least get 500,000 views per client,
Oh,
no matter
amazing.
no matter the niche. And in the Quebec market, it's still pretty. It's accounting for the fact that there isn't that much people. And funny story, our biggest success case study, and I'm gonna be posting about it soon, so people see it. Our biggest like success in terms of like views and recognition. It's a person that gets recognized almost like every day on the street. His name is Quackpreneur. This guy is a crazy entrepreneur. He have extensive entrepreneurship knowledge, but all he cares about is ducks. You have all of these ducks. You have over 500 ducks. I think he has the biggest collection of Quebec. And we started posting content about entrepreneurship, but also his duck collection. And Quebec took him by storm. And we've averaged like more than 1 million views on his videos just about the ducks. And now he's
That's
recognized as
crazy.
the duck guy. And whenever we go to shoot, like your quackpreneur, yeah, he is very nice guy though.
Isn't that the dogs that they sell in Old Port, the yellow little dogs?
I mean, he have ducks from everywhere. Probably from the old port, for other places like
That's
hardcore.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's funny. I bet his content's pretty interesting.
You should check him out. It's pretty funny. It's very funny.
What's the name of the guy again? I'm gonna look him up.
His name is Michael, but his uh
Dogpreneur.
quackpreneur, like quack, like the ducks,
Yeah,
quackpreneur. Yeah.
that's funny. What would you say is like from your experience, what makes a video go viral?
Honestly, it's so there is this. Let's define two virality. Like there's the virality that everybody knows about. Everybody knows the video, millions of views, and there's niche virality. I'll get to that in a couple minutes or seconds. But what makes a video go viral is obviously the first 3 seconds. You need to grab as much attention as possible, and you need to have a payoff so that people can keep watching the video and get what they want at the end. When people don't get what they want at the end, and this works for reels, like you promise something and then they're listening to you and you're just not getting to the point. Like you're talking about this and this and this, and like, okay, and all of this happens in less than 15 seconds, then they just scroll off. And there's another concept that a lot of people have a difficult time understanding, but I think you already know about it. It's rehooks. It's not just about hooking your audience once in the beginning. It's about doing it once, sparking their curiosity, but doing it again and again and again throughout the video so they could keep watching the video. So you hook them once. I'm going to show you how I made $1 million in 2 hours. And then instead of telling them how you did, but first let me show you how blah blah blah. But then
Hmm.
it's basic storytelling, right? But that's usually what makes it go viral. But virality, like as a whole, like multiple million views, it needs to be relatable. It needs to be highly relatable, and that's why I said in the beginning, shares are more important than likes, and that's not me saying it. The founder, the CEO of Instagram, said it multiple times in podcasts that the algorithm takes into account shares way more than likes. Because if a piece of
Okay.
content is shared very often, it means that this piece of content is very relatable and more people are going to be watching it, thus making more people stay on the platform. So you want to make your piece of
Mm,
content very, very shareable, very relatable, but that's if you're just going for views, like
okay.
virality. So that's
Yeah.
that's for one.
It makes sense. Yeah, I've seen like different videos that doesn't make even sense, but somehow they end up going viral just because I don't know, it's like a funny thing that happened or like plot twist, like that's incredible or I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if you've seen those AI generated videos that are like yesterday I saw one and it was going like, did you know if you drop an ant from the Empire State Building
Saw
and it
that one.
goes and then it ends up in like the restaurant of like an Arab restaurant or something like that, and it has like millions of views.
Yeah, it's insane views. It's insane views. Is it Zach Films?
I don't remember the name of the account, but there are a couple of them like that, and like things you would, for example, the Kevin De Bruyne like assist reels, for example. I don't know if you've seen those.
Kevin De Bruyne assist? No, I haven't seen that.
No, well, on Instagram, it's like there's like a niche of like videos, and you think you're watching a normal video, but as it progresses, it flips, and it's like a football content and stuff like that.
Like unexpected. Yeah,
Yeah,
unexpected.
unexpected. So stuff like that. I've seen those, and I think it's quite funny.
But do
So
you think for your viewers, do you think people should aim for virality?
for what I'm trying to do, no,
No, huh?
I don't think so.
Why
I
not?
think you really have to have clear, like you said, your objectives. I mean, if you're going to do something for the sake of virality, I think it's valid, but you have to think, how does this fit in my strategy? Like, how am I gonna present it? How am I gonna talk? Like, because if you just do that, it's like it has to stay on brand, I would say. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of creative ways that you can think if you want to get views, obviously to reach more people, but it has to serve like your objective and the tone of voice of your audience. Yeah, I think so. For example, I think like if you're giving value, like stay on that, or if you're more like funny, go entertain people.
Hmm.
I don't know what's your take, like how much of your content is value versus entertainment, and how can people like know which path to take?
So first of all, like know who you're talking with, because if you're speaking to senior CEOs who are 50, maybe entertainment isn't as important as value, even though entertainment is going to be very important. If I had to just give you an answer in one sentence, if you can make your valuable videos entertaining, you're the boss. Because you've probably seen people like making marketing videos, and it's pure value, but it's so entertaining that you just want to keep watching. If you can do that, you're the boss. But obviously, that takes years of experience or just working with a team. If you're just starting out, you would need like usually like I think about it in terms of pillars, but I don't want to confuse everybody. But think about giving value. But value isn't just telling people stuff. Value can be behind the scenes. In the behind the scenes, people can learn how to talk, how it is to work with you. Like how does it go to build a house, or how does it go to do a marketing strategy for a client. Case studies are also value because you're showing people that you're an expert in your field and that you can actually help them. So value isn't just top 10 or top 3 ways to do X and Y and Z. But to come back to your question, I would say if you can make every piece of content entertaining while giving value, then you're good. But you shouldn't think about it in the sense of, okay, I'm gonna make 8 pieces of content pure value, and then 2 pieces of content is like memes or I don't know, like viral stuff. This is only gonna harm you. You should always, as you said, keep it on brand and keep it on target. So if your goal is to scale your business, it doesn't really serve you anything to go viral if it's not aligned with your business. And that's why I talked with about
Hmm.
niche virality in the beginning. Like you're gonna see a lot of marketing experts tell you virality is bad, you don't need virality. But who wouldn't want a piece of content to reach a million target ICP? Who? You? You wouldn't want to reach a million target IC, like a million targets. You wouldn't
Yeah, of
want to
course.
reach Of course, that's still virality. So that's why I call it niche virality. It's when you're viral within your niche. Like, for example, within marketing, you reach 600,000 people. There's probably not much more than 600,000 people interested in marketing in Quebec. So you're viral, but in your niche. And that's very aligned with your goals. And that's the type of virality we want. But virality in the sense that everybody, like your mother, your sister, your son, watch your video, that means that it's not really on target and not really addressed to your target audience.
Yeah, completely agree. And I can think of this guy. There's a guy on LinkedIn, and he's all about startups, right? He helps startups get funding. So what these guys do is that he has a newsletter.
Hmm.
Also, he drops value content, but most of his content are memes targeted to startup founders, basically like mocking them or making fun of them or like satire or humor. And I think it works super, super well because he knows what his ICP is. He knows like the struggles, their daily lives, how they think, and he's able to, like, in some way, put on a show for these people.
Uh,
If you know what later I'll send you some examples, but yeah, I think it's very true that you have to be very intentional if you are going to do entertainment content.
yep, it's true. Like maybe a tip I would give the viewers to like get grasp what intentional mean, because we've been saying intentional, but it might seem like just another word. Like you can grab a piece of paper and then you write what you want to be associated with. So you can list 5 things your personal brand or your brand what you want it to be associated with. So maybe expert in, I don't know, in food business, and then reliable, honest, X, Y, and Z. And then you list everything you do not want to be associated with. So business guru, course seller, I don't know, other stuff. And every time you're going to make a piece of content or your team is going to give you a piece of content, you ask yourself, does this put me closer to what I want to be, like the 5 words I put, or does it put me closer to the 5 words I do not want to be? And when you look at it that way, that's how you're actually intentional, because every piece of content is aligned to associate with you, with the, the concepts or the themes or the words you want to be associated with. And in a nutshell, that's what branding is. Branding isn't about colors or logos. It's about what you make people feel and what they associate with you in their head. So that would be like a quick exercise I'd recommend.
Amazing. For example, for your clients, can you break down like your production process from idea to publishing, basically?
Yep, for sure. So whenever a client comes in, we assess if we can help him or not, because sometimes they just want to go viral and become popular, and we can do that. But if the sole purpose is just to become viral, I don't really feel comfortable helping them because there isn't actually any tangible result we can bring other than making them viral. So I assess if we can help them or not, and if they're ready. If and we can help anybody. Actually, most people, the best people on camera are people that have never filmed any piece of content. So they have no experience in front of the camera. They're actually the best to do the video. So when we assess that we can help them based on their goals and where they're at, we literally just make the research. So their market, we look at everything. And today with AI, like a year ago, I think it used to take me 40 hours of market research just for a specific client, like when we onboard them. Now we have, a small team. We're 3 people now in the company. It takes a bit less time, but with the AI, it's amazing. We make so much progress and it's so much faster. And for the client, they can get the results way faster. So once we do the market research, we look at their competitors, what they're doing well. And then once we do have that, we create a list of ideas, of concepts, of piece of contents, and then we present it to the client on a call, and then we go through it together, what is aligned with you, what is not. And on that call we also get a sense of their personality, like what they like to do, what they don't like to do, how they like to present themselves, yada yada. And then once we do have that, we have content ideas for way more than 2 months. Once we do have, we go to the studio, so that usually takes an hour, up to an hour 30. It's pretty amazing how we can film like 2 months worth of content in just an hour 30.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, and I'm very very happy and proud about that because we build it up to that. In the beginning, it didn't used to take that much, but we kind of optimize everything so the client have almost nothing to do. Once we do that, we create the branding if there's no branding. Sometimes they already have a branding because it's like an established business. They've been doing business for 20 years. If they don't, because they never do social media, we create it for them. And even if they do, we adapt it to social media because sometimes they have a personal, like they have branding, but it's just not adapted to social media. So they want to have the right logos, the right colors, the right, et cetera, et cetera. Then we edit it, we post them for them, and we also monitor the communities for them. And then at the end of each month, we kind of see what worked well, what didn't work well, and we adapt for the next month so we can actually double down on the good videos and just remove the less performing videos. So all in all, for the client, it's a 30-minute call and then 1 hour 30 in the studio, and then we're kind of done for a month up to 2 months.
That's amazing. I mean, the fact that you can record once a week and it gives you like several pieces of content, I think is super, super valuable. And I think more and more people should take a look into their brand, like their personal branding, and just grow it, because you may not see it now, but the opportunities long term are pretty, pretty good.
They are. And you're doing amazing, like with your personal brand, giving a lot of value. Like I'm always the first one commenting whenever you give anything, I'm the first one that want it. And I think
Appreciate that, bro.
of course, bro, both for you and for me, like the way we're going about personal brand and our vision about it, I think it's the right way, because no matter what business you have, or no matter if you're an entrepreneur or not, it can be very valuable and you can get a lot of opportunities both for you and for others through that.
Amazing. So just to wrap things up, I think we've covered a lot. Would you say what's your vision for content here in Quebec, in Canada, but also globally? What do you think people are moving towards?
I think on the scale of Quebec, we're going to have our first content millionaires very soon. Like I see it, we have rising YouTubers. I've worked with a couple of the biggest, one in Quebec, for those that know, like Madiba, Shaheen, Tai, all those. I think we're going to have our content millionaires, like just pure influencers making content, but like either launching brands or having their own thing. I think that's going to be one thing. I think that creator economy will grow and get more recognized in the Quebec market, but also in Canada. It's going to become like the US, and we will see more and more founders and corporate companies. Like when I'm talking about corporate, like I'm talking about dinosaurs, like old companies getting into content, and maybe also adopting the employee-led content, because it's a very great way to not only signal that you're doing great, but also signal for other people that your employees are happy to work with at your company. Because if they're not and they're making content, like you should ask yourself question. And last thing, I took some notes, is with the rise of AI, and we're already seeing it right now, we're gonna have, like, this is on a broader scale, hyper personalization in terms of content that you see, and we're gonna be flooded with AI content. I don't know how we're going to be regulating that, but it's already an issue, and it's going to be more and more of an issue. We're going to have way more output in terms of content. For entrepreneurs, it's amazing. We're going to have way more leverage. We can produce way more content. But as a consumer, I don't know how it's going to go, because there's going to be a lot of content out there.
Yeah, and a lot of misinformation too.
True. It's very true. Very true.
Yeah, I think using AI, I mean, use it obviously to your advantage. You can speed up the process of creating content, but I think like don't only use AI just to post things out there. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing that you have to do, in my opinion, is taking AI and helping you do your stuff, but ultimately it's your take, your vision, your notes. That's gonna be like what's valuable for other people. So yeah, I mean, where can people find you?
Yeah, so at LinkedIn and on Instagram, the easiest way to get in touch, whether you want to learn more about content marketing, get in touch and propel your personal brand, or just simply chat with me, will be my pleasure. At LinkedIn and Instagram, Magzawi on both. It's going to be the easiest way. And thank you very much for these questions and this conversation, Juan. It was absolutely amazing. Very, very
My pleasure.
happy.
Yeah, I'm happy to do this too, bro. And I'll link all of Mohammed's social media in the description, so you guys can go check that out. So yeah, thanks for this one.
Thank you.